On today's episode, we are going to talk about gratitude and the law of attraction, how to supercharge your ability to create and attract the things that you want in your life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions that you can have. We're going to dive into that today. I am super excited. So welcome to another episode of the Spoon Train podcast. So gratitude, if you apply this to the antenna theory, remember the antenna theory is that there's music all around us, but we can only hear what our antenna resonates with. So if you change the vibration of what I call your antenna, your cellular vibration, you can move from, just like moving from a classical station to a country station, you can move from fear and worry into gratitude. But when you're on that country station, you don't hear the classical music. When you're on that gratitude station, you don't hear the fear, worry, depression, anxiety, because you don't resonate with it anymore. So being able to tune your antenna into gratitude is one of the most important things you can do. And it goes from knowing consciously, oh yeah, I should be grateful, to feeling it in your body, right? That's how you know you're in the vibration of it, is when you feel it on a cellular level and you feel this overwhelming sense of gratitude. Like, have you ever gotten to a point where you just like tears start to well up in your eyes because you're so grateful? It's one of the best feelings you can have. And when you're in that, that is when you're creating. That is when you're attracting from God or the universe or whatever you want to say, great things into your life, right? What you attract is based on how you feel. And so most of us are stuck, and we're going to go over this. We're stuck in where we are because we don't have the gratitude to move us to the next phase. So we're going to dive into that today, really how to amplify that feeling of gratitude in the body. And from that place, like I did really focused on it last week. And every time I get into that state of gratitude, I'm like, why don't I live here? It's so important because my levels of creativity rose. The way I connect with people is so much better. The deals that flow to me, the way that I perceive deals and opportunities, it's totally different with gratitude. Remember, abundance is all around us. It's only our perceptual filters that block it. And our perceptual filters are based on our feelings, our emotions. So if you want to be able to see the abundance around you, to be able to attract it, you have to get your body into a vibration of gratitude. And for me, gratitude is one of the easiest to get into as a springboard for other emotions. So anytime I'm anxious or worried, if I go to gratitude first, and then from there I go to excitement or passion or joy or charisma, I always use it kind of as that baseline to come back to. So stick with me today. I'm going to share with you how to anchor a feeling of gratitude so you can always go back there easily. So one of the most important things to remember with gratitude is the intention. So just to set an intention to experience more gratitude in your life, you will start to move in that direction. Your reticular activating system will start to find things to be grateful for. But I've set an intention to be grateful, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to go over some more specific ways to feel gratitude. And the way I came to this realization of how gratitude works is I went to my first Tony Robbins event in Dallas in 2016. And like, it just set my energy on a whole new level. And I remember experiencing gratitude that I'd never experienced before, like my whole body. I remember laying in bed at night for weeks after that. And like, not every night, but almost every night, just crying tears of gratitude, like subtle, just like that amazing feeling. It felt so good. And the way that I perceive deals, this is right after I quit my job, and a few deals came to me like right away. And my business just really started changing then. And it was because of that feeling. Like I looked at deals that I had passed on before and now they made sense, right? Because I'd resonated with them now with that feeling of gratitude. So this is how important gratitude is. Now, I'm going to tell you guys that I'm doing a 7-day gratitude challenge. That's coming up. I haven't set the dates for it yet, but that's going to be at sponetrain.com/gratitude. All of the things I share with you today, we're going to set up rituals, exercises, hypnosis recordings, and meditations to put you into that gratitude, because knowing and really feeling it and having that experience are two totally different things. So this podcast is really going to be how to get you to know the fundamentals of gratitude. You probably already know why it's important, but some of the specifics on how to get into it. But the 7-day challenge is going to be with your peers, and it's going to be an accountability thing on actually living in that state, experiencing that state, using some of my very specific hypnosis techniques and language patterns to get you into that state. and to see how your life changes. So sponetrained.com/gratitude. Get on the wait list. This is my first 7-day challenge launch, so I'm going to limit it. So get up there and sign up for that now. All right. So before I get into my content, I want to read a chapter from The Science of Getting Rich. And it's a short chapter, so I'm going to read the whole thing because I could tell you to go look it up and read it yourselves, but many of you probably won't do that. So this is my favorite chapter of any book, from Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich, which was published, I think, in 1910. Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't say here, but this is pre Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So this is amazing. And there's this chapter on gratitude, and well, I'll just read it to you. All right. The illustrations given in the last chapter will have conveyed to the reader the fact that the first step towards getting rich is to convey the idea of your wants to formless substance. That is true, and you will see that in order to do so, it becomes necessary to relate yourself to formless intelligence in a harmonious way. To secure this harmonious relation is a matter of such primary and vital importance that I shall give some space to its discussion here, and give you instructions which, if you will follow them, will be certain to bring you into perfect unity with the mind of God. The whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. First, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it by feeling a deep and profound gratitude. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. Let me read that again. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God, they cut the wires which connect them with Him by failing to make acknowledgement. It is easy to understand that the nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we shall receive. And it is also easy to understand that the soul that is always grateful lives in closer touch with God than the one which never looks to Him in thankful acknowledgement. The more gratefully we fix our minds on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will come. And the reason is simply that the mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source from which the blessings come. If it is a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energies of the universe, consider it well. And you will see that it is true. The good things you already have come to you along the lines of obedience to certain laws. Gratitude will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in close harmony with creative thought and prevent you from falling into competitive thought. Gratitude alone can keep you looking toward the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited. And to do that would be fatal to your hopes. There is a law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should observe the law if you are to get the results you seek. The law of gratitude is the natural principle that action and reaction are always equal and in opposite directions. This is the good part. The grateful outreaching of your mind in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach that which it is addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement towards you. Draw nigh unto God, and He will draw nigh unto you. That is a statement of psychological truth. And if your gratitude is strong and constant, the reaction in formless substance will be strong and continuous. The movement of the things you want will be always towards you. Notice the grateful attitude that Jesus took, how He always seems to be saying, I thank thee, Father, that thou hearest me. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. But the value of gratitude does not consist solely in getting you more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are. The moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you lose ground. So let me read that one again, because The moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. Many of us have those visions for the future. This is me. Sorry, I stopped reading for a second. We have those visions for the future, but we look at where we are in life and we think we'll be grateful when we get to that point in the future. But we look at our life now and we don't feel grateful. And we see, he says, we lose ground when we do that, when we don't feel gratitude in this moment. You fix attention on the common, the ordinary, the poor, and the squalid and mean, and your mind takes form of these things. Then you will transmit these forms or mental images into the formless, and the common, the poor, the squalid, and mean will come to you. So basically, we focus on things as they are, how we lack. That creates an impression across the whole universe, and then we get more of that into our life. So to permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior is to become inferior and to surround yourself with inferior things. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within us makes us into the image to that which we give our attention. We are thinking substance, and thinking substance always takes the form of that which it thinks about. The grateful mind is always fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. It takes the form or character of the best, and it will receive the best. Also, faith is born of gratitude. The great mind continually expects good things, and expectation becomes faith. The reaction of gratitude upon one's own mind produces faith, and every outgoing wave of grateful thanksgiving increases faith. He who has no feeling of gratitude cannot long retain a living faith. And without a living faith, you cannot get rich by the creative method, as we shall see in the following chapters. So like I talked about gratitude as that foundation for other emotions. So this one, he talks about faith, right? Having that faith and certainty in what you're doing is essential. And the best way to start building that is just to experience gratitude. It is necessary then to cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Do not waste time thinking or talking about the shortcomings or wrong actions of plutocrats or trust magnates. This was an earlier time. The organization of the world has made your opportunity. All you get really comes to you because of them. Do not rage against corrupt politicians. Okay, well, some things aren't always that different. Do not rage against corrupt politicians. If it were not for politicians, we should fall into anarchy, and your opportunity would be greatly lessened. God has worked a long time and very patiently to bring us up to where we are in industry and government, and he is going right on with his work. There is not the least doubt that he will do away with plutocrats, trust magnates, captains of industry, and politicians as soon as they can be spared. But in the meantime, behold, they are all very good. Remember that they are helping to arrange the lines of transmission along which your riches will come to you, and be grateful to them all. This will bring you into harmonious relations with the good in everything, and the good in everything will move towards you. All right, so that is chapter 7 of The Science of Getting Rich. I've read that chapter probably at least 100 times. Just to remind me like the power of our mind and our thoughts to attract things into our life, and how important it is to not focus on what we're lacking, what's wrong with the world, but to feel gratitude. If you only focus on those simple little things that make you feel gratitude, all of your actions, your entire life, your emotions would be totally different. So that's the power of gratitude. That's chapter 7 of The Science of Getting Rich. I recommend you guys have that. Read it once a week at least, and just keep in mind that mental attitude of gratitude puts you into harmony with the creative forces of the universe. Okay, so I'm going to share a story about how I use gratitude to attract and create. And first of all, when I was in college, I used to work at the golf course in the summers because I stayed up Purdue for wrestling. And I remember there were these 2 red-tailed hawks. And I remember I would be cutting greens in the morning. I remember seeing these hawks, and they were hunting, and they were powerful. And for me, it was just like a symbol of freedom. And I really resonated with that. And so when I got out of college and started my real estate company, the symbol of, real estate investing was really, for me, it was a way to create freedom. And so, of course, I named my real estate company Red Tail Homes. And so I have an amazing symbol that my buddy designed of a red tail hawk. And for me, it was just like a symbol of that freedom. And I remember this is before I'd quit my job. I had set a goal to have, gosh, how many units? Maybe, I don't know what I was at, 20 something back then, maybe 30. I don't remember, 20 probably. And to hit a certain income per month goal. And I remember I wanted to get I needed to get a new truck. And I was like, at first, some of the scarcity was like, oh, I'm just going to buy a used truck. It's going to be fine. And then I was like, reading this book and some law of attraction stuff. I'm like, no, I want a nice truck. I don't want some used piece of crap. And I don't have the money for it, but I'm going to figure it out. And so I would visualize myself driving this truck. And again, I think it was still working. So I wasn't happy, but I would take time and I would visualize. I would feel gratitude. I would grip the steering wheel and feel the wind in my hair and remember what it felt like to drive this truck, so real. And I felt so much gratitude for it. And I set a goal for July 1st. And I hit that goal. I hit my income goal almost exactly. I went out and found the truck that I have now, which is an F-150 Lariat with a huge sunroof and leather seats and heated and cool seats and power, folding mirrors. And I love it. It's perfect. And so I remember I was driving up to Wisconsin for a family vacation. And I had just gotten this truck and the sunroof was open, the windows were down, I was blasting, I think Country Boy Can't Survive or something on the radio. And I just that was my vision. It had come to life. I had hit my income goal. And I remember just feeling so free and so grateful and reliving what I had lived in my vision. And I looked up and there was a freaking red tail hawk flying overhead. And it was just a symbol of what you can create with that gratitude. Now that red tail hawk has come up in a number of synchronous and crazy ways for me. When I did my ayahuasca vision, I was on a horse riding over the plains in the West, and I looked up and there was a red tail hawk. And then, of course, that vision became a reality on my trip last year when I was riding horses at Custer Battlefield in Montana, and that was this was where my ayahuasca vision was. Anyway, so all of these things are linked, and I remember just knowing that gratitude was what created that. And then I went to Tony Robbins' UPW event. And I think I already talked about that. Yeah, I did. But just the way coming home from that event, feeling gratitude in my body in a way that I'd never experienced. And the energy I had, I needed less sleep. Because remember, fear causes tension in the body. And remember, you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So that fear in your body puts you on heightened alert and it drains your energy because you're ready to spring into action. But when you allow gratitude, your body is relaxed and there's none of that tension that dissipates your energy. So just being grateful can give you more energy. And again, it's not knowing that we should be grateful. It's feeling it, feeling that in every cell in your body. And that's what I've been studying. That's what I've been practicing. And that's what I want to share with you guys. All right. So a few ways to do that. One of them, again, is the intention, but the second is the modality. So in NLP, our 5 senses are called the modalities. And when we shift our focus into one of the modalities here in the present moment with an intention to be grateful, we can really experience strong gratitude. So I'll tell you what I mean. So let's think about, I had a carrot out the other day and I was just dipping it in some hummus. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this exercise. And I took this carrot and I dipped it and I took a bite and I closed my eyes and I tasted the textures and the crunchiness and really took in all of the parts of this carrot with everything else in my life didn't even exist. Right. And so I'm feeling gratitude for the nourishment, for the farmer who picked this carrot, for just this amazing carrot. And it's so simple, right? But this is Einstein said, there's 2 ways to live your life, as everything is a miracle or as if nothing was a miracle. And so I'm just pretending this carrot is a miracle. And I look at the cross section and the way the cells fit together and the bright orangeness of it and the way that it came from a farm to my house it was just like amazing. And like, I'm sinking all of my attention into like perceiving the colors and the energy of this carrot. And it sounds like kind of stupid, right? But like when you do that with your food, you feel appreciation for your food, your body takes it in so much better, right? We're either in fight or flight or rest and digest. And when we're eating in fight or flight, our body doesn't take in all the nutrients because it's like, oh, we don't have to, like our number one priority isn't digestion. It's getting out of the situation. So when we eat in stress, that's what happens a lot of times. So to take a moment and to experience gratitude for our food, right? Like using our five senses. What does it smell like? What does it look like? Like the vibrant colors of it. Like imagine like feeling the energy exchange of that food and being grateful and being present. Being present is one of the keys to gratitude. And one of the keys to being present is, again, these five modalities. So if you're walking down the beach, like you could be focusing on a million things. You could think about the future, the past, or you could like be present and feel the sand in between your toes and feel the sun, like the warmth of the sun, the brightness of the sun, the sound of the waves. Like when you focus on those so intently, you can really tap into some gratitude, the beauty of that moment. So that's one of the ways, the tapping into the five modalities. And I use that a lot. And guys, like anything around you can be something to be grateful for when you do that. Like just getting into your refrigerator or going for a drive or looking at a tree. Like trees are freaking miraculous. You know, think about like, look at the leaves and the veins and the life and the color and just a leaf and the way the bark forms and the way the roots go down and they turn sunlight into wood. Like it's crazy. And so when you look at life that way, as if everything was a miracle, you can't help but feel gratitude. And then you attract things on a whole other level. The creativity and energy you tap into is totally different. So there's one way, the modalities. The next way, probably the most important way. I remember a while ago I was doing this. I was trying to get back into gratitude and I was just, going through some stuff and struggling a little bit. And I realized like I'm trying to experience gratitude selfishly. And sometimes that works. But the best way to experience gratitude is when you make someone else feel appreciated, your heart like expands, like you feel gratitude. It's like karma, right? What you give out comes back. And so when you go out and you make other people feel appreciated, like your mind links that up, right? Whatever separation is between us starts to dissolve. That ego is what creates scarcity and lack. And when you overcome that ego and you go give someone a sincere compliment, you show appreciation, you give them a little thoughtful gift or a handwritten note, and like that just touches their heart, you can't help but feel appreciative. You can't help but feel gratitude. Like this is one of the best ways to hack into gratitude is to take a moment, go through your phone, someone you haven't talked to in a while, someone that's made a difference in your life, and just to send them a note and say, hey, I really appreciate you. But it has to be specific, right? So again, like we talked about the modalities, when you're general, things aren't as inspiring, but when you go really specific into the colors and textures of that carrot or into the colors and textures of what that person's done for you, like the very specific, like, during this time in my life, you were there for me. You told me this and that made a huge difference. And I just want you to let you know, like, I appreciate you. When you do this, the way you do this, your strength in this area specifically is what I'm so appreciative of. When you get specific with it, people really feel that. When you just send someone a note that says, oh, thank you, I appreciate you. It's too generic. It doesn't touch their hearts. So having that like specific message to somebody, it's amazing. And it makes a huge difference because remember, as humans, all we want is to be loved and appreciated. That is the driving force behind all of our behaviors. Like most of our behaviors, once we get food and water and shelter and a little bit of sex, and even sex is we just want to be loved and appreciated. Once you get past the kind of those primal drives, like that's it. That's what keeps us going and inspires us is to feel loved and appreciated. And the best way to do that is to show that to somebody else. So last week I was, again, focusing on that 7 days of gratitude for myself. And so that for me was going out every day and telling 3 people, whether it was a text, a phone, a handwritten note. And so I went out and I got some, one of my tenants has a bakery. And so I went out and, supported my tenant and bought a bunch of like scones and cookies and muffins and stuff. And I took them over to my property manager. as a gift of appreciation, because without my property manager, like I would be so tied down to being here. I wouldn't be able to travel. My time would be sucked up. I wouldn't be able to have a podcast. And so I took them and I said like, hey, I appreciate you guys. I know how hard you guys work and you made my life so much easier and so much better. And they appreciate it. They felt appreciated. And I know, and this wasn't my intention, but I know they're going to go above and beyond to support me. And again, like when you do that for people, you hit their number one driving force and you can't help but feel what they feel. You can't help but feel that appreciation. So that's the fastest way that I believe to tap into gratitude, is just to take a moment and make other people feel appreciated. And the farther you go in this, the more you're going to get to experience it yourself. And those, like taking time and writing a handwritten note, costs you nothing and it means the world to somebody. It literally makes their day. So that's a great way. And so another way, and this is where we mess up, I believe, on our visualization. I'm a huge believer in visualization, but most of us, we go into a visualization in our current state, seeing the future, right? And whatever emotional beliefs we have about that future state, we feel. So we can see ourselves doing it, but because we don't have it now, we tend to look at it like disassociated. Like I would see myself as successful or on TV or, winning that sports game, but I wouldn't really like resonate with it. I wouldn't change my vibration into it because emotionally I'm not connected to it. So it's like watching a soccer game on TV versus like being in that soccer game, like emotionally and winning it, right? And that's what creates the power, is to emotionally associate into those future visions. That's why visualization works. So one of the best ways to hack that is to experience gratitude and then visualize that future. So one of my top ways is to think about times in the past when you were so grateful. Like we've all had a few moments where, we connected with somebody and we felt like amazing gratitude. And so to put yourself back into that, to sink into the textures of that moment, get that gratitude in your heart and imagine it just flowing through your entire body. And then you go to your future vision from that state of gratitude. And pretty soon that will start to link up. We're going to talk about Hebb's law in a minute and how that works. But so you can go to the past, hack into those grateful experiences, those like top grateful experiences. You can stack them on top of each other. And then visualize the future. So start feeling that gratitude and then see yourself as successful, see yourself traveling the world in that relationship that you want. Feel that gratitude and your mind will link it up and you will begin to associate positive feelings with that future state and you will resonate with it, right? It's like we're all energy. Like this is all just tuning into the station of our successful selves. Like your successful self, the life you want is all around you right now, but you're not in it because you don't resonate with it. If you could change your energy, and the way to change it is just gratitude, right? So go to those memories in the past, amplify that feeling of gratitude, and your life, you will start to move incredibly fast towards the life that you want. Everything you want is all around you right now. You're just not tuned into the right station. And gratitude is the way to hack into that. Again, it's not knowing, quote unquote, knowing to be grateful. It's feeling grateful. Journaling is a great way to tap into gratitude. For me, it's a little more subtle. It's not as powerful as the hypnosis. It's definitely not as powerful as showing appreciation to someone else, but it's a great way to shift your focus, right? What we focus on, we feel. And so every morning I start my day with a gratitude and grace journal. In the 7-day challenge I'm doing, I talk about grace and synchronicity a lot more and how I believe that is one of the most powerful streams of how gratitude works. We're not going to talk about that today. But if you notice like grace and synchronicity in your life and the more you're grateful for it, the more is going to come to you. So every day I just write gratitude and grace, like what I'm grateful for, examples of grace in my life, synchronicities, coincidences that I believe are beyond me. And I start to feel that. So that journaling is a big one as well. And not the most important, but one of the important things is, again, I mentioned Hebb's law. I just interviewed one of my mentors, Paul Ramsey, and we talked about myelination in the brain and how neurons that fire together wire together, right? So if you think about when you broke up with a girlfriend and you would hear this song, right? And there's like this, if you play that song, all of your circuitry in your brain goes back to that emotion of that breakup, right? We all have that song, or even a positive song. And that's basically that anything that happens in a heightened emotional state, your brain links up and it creates this network of neurons. And so the more that happens and the more emotional it is, the more it gets myelinated. So that's like, think about insulation on electrical cords. And so the more myelination there is, the faster that transmission of information and the stronger the signal. So we want to use that to hack into gratitude. So the more gratitude you experience, the stronger the myelination in the network of your neurons. So I link things up to that grateful state. So I use essential oils. I use lavender essential oil to get to gratitude. So when I do my meditations, I go back in time, I remember those things. Once I'm feeling that strong sense of gratitude, I smell my lavender, right? And I have, a specific song. And so boom, smell my lavender in that meditation, and like that gratitude just starts to well up in me because I've conditioned it so intensely that when I smell the lavender, my neurons are all firing gratitude. Boom. Now I'm back into it. Like, it's that simple. Every time I go to a Tony Robbins event, I carry with me a couple different oils because like he does such a great job of putting people into peak emotional states. And one of those states there is gratitude for me. One of them is certainty, and I anchor like a different essential oil. But when I'm in gratitude at those events, I take out my oil, smell it, anchor it, create that neural network. So now when I'm going about my day, I can take a moment, play that song, smell my oil, and boom, I have this overwhelming sense of gratitude that comes over me just like that. That's what emotional conditioning is about. Remember, you don't rise to the level of the event. You fall to your level of training. You fall to your level of preparation. And so I've conditioned myself, like my emotions, to be prepared to experience whatever emotion I want. And I don't leave it up to chance, right? Like, I've built that neural network in my brain. If you don't have that neural network in your brain for gratitude, like, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be like driving on a dirt road to get to gratitude. We want to pave that into a super highway so that gratitude is instant and automatic. And that's what the 7-day challenge is about. I give you ways to anchor that, meditations around it, and basically building that super highway so that you can go to gratitude at any time. And again, when you're in gratitude, you can't experience fear, worry, lack, scarcity, or depression. Like, all of those emotions are just a lack of gratitude, because gratitude is energizing. Gratitude is freeing. And when you're on the station of gratitude, those other stations do not come in. So you have to train the neural network of gratitude to access it instantly and automatically. So sign up for the 7-day challenge, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to supercharge your creativity, your manifestation, your emotions. It's going to be amazing. I have a bunch of other little hacks that we didn't share here. So sign up at sponetrained.com/gratitude. It's $7 for 7 days. It's a stupid deal. So I'm excited to see you guys there. And this is, again, going to be a new thing for me, as these 7-day challenges. So really looking forward to it. I hope this made a difference in your life. Just a reminder, like, gratitude is the most important thing that we can experience. And one of them anyway, and I saw there's a quote that says, if the only prayer that you said was thank you, that would be enough. And I totally believe that's true. So if you can, you can. So I'm just going to tell you to go out and get The Science of Getting Rich, either on audiobook or the paperback, and read chapter 7 as often as you can. It takes about 5 minutes. It's a great reminder that you are what you think about, and to put yourself into harmony with the creator, with the universe. The emotion of gratitude is the number one key. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. So I want to say that if you are listening to this still, I am incredibly grateful for you. You are the reason that I'm putting this podcast on. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm looking forward to much more content. And if this made a difference in your life, I'd love some feedback. Shoot me a message, or give me a review on iTunes. That would mean the world to me. And I look forward to seeing you on the 7-day challenge. And in that challenge, we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you the Ha breathing technique that the ancient Hawaiians used to experience gratitude. I'm going to do my tunnel of gratitude meditation. I did this on a friend of mine, And he said that afterwards, colors looked different. He said the room was brighter. He said he was in a different world after this meditation. That's how powerful it is. Because you change the energy, you change your perceptual filters instantly when you tap into that strong gratitude. So those are a few things you're going to get in this 7-day challenge, but I hope that this podcast was good enough and provided lots of value. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.